Tiny Glade. I'd been wanting to play this game since I saw its teaser trailer, but I simply never made time to do so. But then, the wonderful Jeanne, who you may know from here or here, started playing it during a call and I was enchanted. Not just by the game, but by the fun we could have as artists with it. I promptly took a screenshot of her stream and drew some goofy characters on top. The potential here was rapidly exploding inside my head, and so we set up a time to play some Tiny Glade together, and I, already getting way too invested, decided to record it.
What's up, YouTube? Oh my god, I love it.
What are you doing?
He's going for the Angkor Wat art direction.
I mean, oh, cool.
What am I doing?
Elephant.
Now, I had no experience in the game whatsoever at this point, so I spent the first half hour goofing about whilst Jeanne and another buddy taught me the basics.
Oh.
Yeah, that's so good, right?
Oh, when you move the tree around.
Very quickly, we got into discussing what stories we wanted to tell in the little worlds we were making. At first, the idea was to simply add characters to screenshots. Then we considered a short comic to incorporate more narrative. But, as always happens, we kept increasing the scope. And not long after, I had set my heart on making an animation. So, we tried to develop a story. Now, we were probably playing for a few hours, and our discussions were spread throughout. But I've cut together some of that process. It's a slow and cozy part of the video, so you can skip to the next timestamp where I actually start working on the animation. At this point, I was still learning the ropes, but the other two got stuck into their buildings. I'll show you the clips of their progress. Meanwhile, we all slowly pieced together the basic elements of a story.
What we need to do, we need to establish a motive. What does our character want to do?
Our character wants to untransform his girlfriend from being a frog.
It's his girlfriend?
Sure.
Oh.
Okay, then this is starting to lend itself to a story. Oh my god, you can pet the sheep. I'm getting distracted. So, our little character is on a journey, and he's asking everyone, "Can you help me untransform my girlfriend?"
Yes.
She is a
Are you
frog.
a witch?
And so they go past Jeanne's fisherman hut, and they ask the fisherman, and the fisherman's like, "No, but I can give you a fish."
Why is he French? Because it's Jeanne.
Because Jeanne's got a voice actor.
I
Him.
feel offended, Thomas, but
I'm
okay.
sorry. Well, they'll get to the witch, and the witch will have like a thick American accent. I'm gonna turn you into a frog.
Maybe he
How
has a
dare you
British
come
accent and he sells fish and chips.
here? That would be good, but then I would need to do it. Mine will be a merchant. Okay, and mine will be the merchant. So maybe he visits the merchant first, and the merchant goes,
A half-fish human, you say? Sounds valuable. How much are you willing to sell this specimen for?
and our main character's like, "No, it's my girlfriend. I am not selling her."
The witch turns him into a frog. Or it turns him into a fly. And then his girlfriend wants to eat him.
And essentially, our little character's gonna be asking,
Oh, can you help me, please?
Wait, you erased the elephant building?
"Yeah, yes, I did."
What happened? That was perfect.
Yeah. I wasn't so sure about it.
Hey, Jeanne.
What?
Easy, easy.
And then the witch goes, and turns her into a fly.
Turns him into a fly.
Him into a fly. I'm good at this. Turns him into a fly. So then what does he do? He goes home.
He flies away.
And that's it. And then gets eaten.
And his girlfriend eats him.
That's it. End of story. Is this perhaps a slightly weak story?
Yes, it is.
Damn. I really thought we were onto something.
Well, despite my concerns at this time, the story was basically locked in from this point onwards. So I started on the very first animation test, and perhaps got disproportionately excited.
It's going through the archway. Wow.
Hang on.
Look at that. Oh my god.
And proceeded to define the character design a little bit. Not long after that, I had developed the animation test a little bit more, and now things were falling into place. The final vision was forming in my head.
But
I love it.
It's amazing how well it
That's
works.
so cool.
Okay.
You did this so quickly. That's so good.
So this is it. This is proven. This is actually what we're gonna do then.
Yes. So the fisherman tricks him into getting him, like, bait for his fishing. It's like, you have to dig up a bunch of worms, and then she'll
Oh,
love you again.
and it'll just be like, huh, it didn't work? I'm sorry. Who knew? Who'd have thunk?
You gonna use those worms, by the way? And you say no.
Yeah.
Obviously. What do you need worms for?
Thank you, lad. You see him snickering as you walk off.
And the merchant tricks him into buying something.
That's good.
It's like, you need this shiny ruby.
It's just snake oil.
yeah, yeah, no, that's good. No, that's literally it. We'll
Yeah.
do that. Oh, looks so good. What the heck?
Glad
That's
you
so
like it.
beautiful.
So wait, did you use water on the back to like get the gentle slope? Yeah, to get the gentle slope to become a
Yeah.
sheer cliff face. Oh, that little section
Yes.
looks so good.
Oh my god.
Do you like it?
It's perfect.
I'm designing small characters.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my goodness.
I think at this point we have to make like an animated movie or something.
Yeah.
I had a ton of fun. Can you?
Yeah.
See?
It's actually so beautiful.
Should I show you the rest?
Oh, yes, please.
Whee.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful.
I want to go inside. I want to see what it looks like inside.
That's gorgeous.
Oh, there's a sheep! Look at it! Oh, oh you can pet it!
Yeah.
This place is magical. Oh my goodness.
Show us yours, Thomas.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm looking at yours now.
Alright, we're gonna walk in the path through the forest. This will be the first place we go to, so
Wow!
it's little merchants. It's supposed to feel a
Oh,
bit
that's
rustic, you know?
adorable! You can put them on sticks like that?
Yeah, look, and because it's two different colours of bunting, or two different colours of
Yeah.
flag, the bunting alternates colour.
I know, that's so good.
So cool.
And you click on it, you can also change the symbol. I don't know if you saw.
Yes, I already did, yeah.
Cool.
This is like a little guest house. It's a bit
Wow.
overgrown. Sit on the bench. Look at the big house. Over here we've got like a little barn. It's a merchant, so it's got
That's so
storage
cool.
everywhere. I still could not work out how to get a good path leading up here, but it is what it is. There's a tiny door for a dwarf.
For a tiny person.
Here's a few rocks. Beautiful.
Oh, very nice.
Out back, there's a space I didn't really do anything with.
Wow.
Work in progress, is fine. Secret, don't look into that.
Whoa.
Ah,
Wow. I love this place, Thomas.
this
That's
is the rich
amazing.
man's courtyard.
It looks so cool, the curved house.
But yeah, the curved house is nice. I'm pleased with this bit. Anyway, and then over here. This is
Wow.
merchant
The
sandals
arch
wares.
is so cool.
And there's the big
Yeah,
arch.
it looks real nice.
How did you do that? Just a lot of path under it?
Yeah, basically it was trial and error to get the largest arch before it split into two with a pole in the middle.
So cool. This is so beautiful. How is this possible?
I actually love it.
And that was it. 3 beautiful little environments and the bones of a story which would play out within them. Before I go any further, I have some thoughts about Tiny Glade. It is a truly beautiful game. You are given a suite of delightfully satisfying tools and asked to define your own goal. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but this form of player-driven entertainment is so much better for our fragile little psyches. There is no competition or time limit or rush to obtain something rare or fear of missing out. You have to find satisfaction in completing your own goal. It feels almost like a wonderfully accessible form of meditation, and the majority of you watching this will have experienced countless hours of this when creating artworks of your own. In the era of endless content and AI slop, games like these offer a way to rediscover the joy of creation with no external goals, stresses, or success criteria. Anyway, this all becomes quite meta since our plans immediately layer a new personal goal on top of creating a cute looking building, turning the cute little buildings into an animation. And finally, we can begin that long but rewarding process. I started small, writing out the story and starting to define each of the characters. My process was about as low tech as you can get without a pencil and paper, just typing stuff out in Notepad. Very quickly, I was face to face with my first major consideration. What were the characters going to sound like? At this point, I'd accepted that I would do all the voice acting, so my real challenge was creating enough unique voices that were clearly distinct. Since it was a limitation of its own, I used the voices to inform the personality of each character. But it certainly wasn't an immediate success. I tried voicing the main character multiple times and asked friends which they preferred. My dearly beloved has been cursed. 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 By the way, at this point I had officially called him Tiny, which was cute, story appropriate, and a nice tie-in to the origin of the whole project. I then committed to recording all the voice lines, trying to get as many fun inflections in as possible. I'm a huge fan of Were the Kids and Speederoo, both excellent animators that managed to make every line of their stories quotable, so part of the challenge was also avoiding their stylistic choices. And then I went back into Tiny Glade and started to take photos for the backgrounds of the animation. This truly was the crux of the whole project, using our creations to very quickly establish an adorable fantasy world and skip straight to the narrative and animation part. I brought them into Photoshop and started storyboarding on top. This stage doubled as an opportunity to design the characters in situ, ensuring they all integrated into their environments. I also made edits to the backgrounds, painting over distracting details and enhancing textures. There were also some areas where I added new props to better communicate the story. With the locations, characters, and voice lines in place, I went straight into FL Studio to do a rough sketch of the sound effects.
Gold, how much have you got? Pleasure doing business with you. Gold, how much have you got? Pleasure doing business with you. Gold, how much have you got?
Honestly, this process could happen after all the animating was complete, as at this point the most important part would be lip syncing. But I liked creating a fun array of sounds without worrying about the visuals at first. I think it resulted in choices that I wouldn't have made otherwise, and it forced me to try and visualize each scene in my head before getting stuck into the animation. Obviously, this meant timing wasn't always perfect, so sometimes I just ignored the exact placement of certain sound effects, and sometimes I would edit the audio and re-export it to match. This also meant that I was now properly into the long process of animating everything. I knew animation took ages, but I have to be honest, there were sections to the end where I was really forcing myself to get it done. From the outset, I thought I'd made some smart decisions. The character designs were very simple, and I had chosen a pixel art aesthetic to reduce the possibility for detail even further. The most ingenious part was that I'd honed in on a style that used a single black line around the outside of the character and relied only on colour contrast to define the internal shapes. This may still seem like a lot of drawing outlines, but I managed to get a Photoshop layer style to reproduce a perfectly crisp pixel art outline, which I could then just apply to what were essentially blobs of colour. It's precisely because of this style that I chose to animate in Photoshop, which also came with the benefit of feeling comfortable with all the shortcuts, editing tools, etc. Now, I was aware that it is generally seen as being pretty rubbish for animation, and for good reason, but I'd watched a process video of Robot Valley, and that gave me confidence that what I wanted to create was possible. Clunky, yes, but very possible. However, my choices here did have some drawbacks, and remarkably, it was not Photoshop's fault in this case. Pixel art has some very particular eccentricities, essentially a set of rules or fundamentals that I personally agree with fully and did my best to follow throughout. The important ones involve what pixel artists call jaggies and doubles, and having finished the animation, I can confidently say that over half of my time animating was spent cleaning up these imperfections. And they are still everywhere. And yes, I do feel compelled to fix all of them. But that would see me stuck in pixel purgatory forever, so I've managed to pull myself away and do the sensible thing, and call it done. The big question I have after all of this is what style would have been faster but still result in a polished looking animation? If I was not drawing pixel art, there would have been an expectation for more accurate line placement, and I probably wouldn't have gotten away with using layer styles to draw them for me. That said, many of the lines I may have drawn would have been good enough on the first try and not require the constant fiddling and fixing up of jaggies and doubles. It seems I will simply have to try my hand at animation again to actually answer this, and that is certainly something I am excited to do. Anyway, I shall not be going deeper into the details of pixel art or animation, since this is not a tutorial in either topic, but I do need to mention some of my big learning points. During these long animation sessions, Sanguine joined me and started backseat animating, and honestly it made a huge difference. Of course, I was doing my best to include squash and stretch and all that, but she constantly pointed out places where I could push those delightful smear frames. Another trap I found myself in was inserting too many in-betweens, and they would often point out frames that I could simply delete, resulting in snappier movements that had more impact. It was actually really useful that they gave me this advice early on, as it saved me time throughout the process, as I could now better predict which parts of the motion I could skip animating and fill with smear frames, which were often easier and a lot more fun to draw. Finally, once the animation was complete, I could stitch the whole sequence together and experience the full story for the first time. I took it back into FL Studio to polish up all the timings and sound effects, and then came adding the soundtrack. I wasn't always confident I'd incorporate much music, but I had a few ideas I wanted to try, and these were a few of my very early attempts.
Oh, my darling sweet, I promise I will free you from your slimy prison. Oh, my darling sweet, I promise I will free you from your slimy prison. Excuse me, sir. Oh, my darling sweet, I promise I will free you from your slimy prison. Oh, my darling sweet, I promise I will free you from your slimy prison. Oh, my darling sweet, I promise I will free you from your slimy prison. Excuse me, sir. My dearly beloved has been cursed, transformed into a frog. Do you know of it?
I settled on the last melody, as you could probably guess given how developed it is compared to the others. I think it sets the tone really well, a quirky medieval setting with no illusions of grandeur. It was also very flexible, so I could repeat the same motif throughout, modifying it for each new scene. And with the first full draft of the animation complete, I sought feedback. My mum really pulled through with some tough but excellent critique. And after the final changes, it is now complete, and you can watch it, and I can rest.